I have a moment for you here of Alexandria Ocasio Cortez during the bonkers IRS whistleblower hearing that took place that we covered last week. But I want to connect this clip that we didn't cover previously to a piece that came out about Kevin McCarthy and him trying to keep Trump pleased. And what she'll walk through is how Trump is leveraging his power over Congress right now. And he's calling the shots, in a sense, by pressuring Republicans to do certain things, and they do it to his political advantage. And this is an example of how Trump is still, as I said, calling the shots and in command of the Republican Party in a very detrimental way. Even though he's not even technically in a position of power, he still is the leader of the party with how he exerts his influence. Again, this is a very negative reality, but it is the reality that we're in. So here's AOC at this hearing. Another one of these political stunt, let's hurt Joe Biden hearings from Republicans as she's trying to inject a little sanity.
Where there actually is a set of breadcrumbs, however, is in a set of tweets and letters sent from former President Trump to several chairs, to the chair of the House Judiciary Committee that we see here. In fact, according to New York Times article, which I'd like to present to the record today, President Trump's attorney wrote to the Judiciary Committee chairman urging him to investigate what he called, quote, a rogue local district attorney. And after that New York DA convened a grand jury that ultimately indicted Donald Trump, Chairman Jordan complied with that letter. Shortly after President Trump's attorney sent that letter to the committee, which is highly unusual, a very highly unusual act. And in fact, after that, on March 20th, Chairman Jordan, together with the Committee on House Administration, Chairman Brian Steele, as well as the chairman of this committee, wrote to District Attorney Bragg and then demanded a sweeping series of documents, including communications between the DA's office and the Department of Justice, also highly unusual. In fact, on his Truth Social account later on, Donald Trump claimed that the U.S. attorney investigating Hunter Biden, a U.S. attorney, by the way, that Donald Trump appointed, was, quote, a coward. And then in that, he then urged that maybe the presiding judge will have the courage and intellect to break up this, quote, cesspool of crime. Curiously, just a few days after this tweet, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith, sent a letter to U.S. Attorney David Weiss and Attorney General Merrick Garland.
She's exactly right, and walks through, completes there in the rest of the clip, walking through these examples of Trump calling out publicly to Republicans, do this, you needed to act on my behalf. And then they do it. They follow through. They do these hearings. They act in a way that is sort of like a little campaign contribution. They're all serving his attempt to get back into power. And because he doesn't right now have his hands on the levers of power, they work on his behalf to do what he wants done to help his campaign, whether it be trying to go after the Manhattan DA over that investigation, or trying to create this artificial scandal around Biden. He's corrupt too, so we shouldn't care about Trump's corruption, when of course they haven't actually proven those things about Biden. It's all just trying to serve Trump's campaign. They're all working in his apparatus to serve his campaign because they're all terrified of his supporters. And it's really wild that, yeah, he's out right now of an actual seat of power, but he still very much is leveraging his influence where power is held. And the way that Kevin McCarthy is so terrified of Trump played out once again, as is being reported on here from Politico, inside Kevin McCarthy's secret promise to expunge Trump's record. And Kevin McCarthy apparently is seeking to expunge the impeachments of Trump. Okay. And this article writes that after that moment that we talked about where Kevin McCarthy just barely questions the effectiveness of Trump's campaign or whatever, barely. He goes, Trump's great. He could beat Biden. He's great. He could beat Biden. He's great. He could beat Biden. But maybe is he the best candidate? I don't know, but he's great. And that caused Trump to be livid. Kevin McCarthy was like, I'm so sorry. He's the best. He's definitely the best to beat Biden and all that. And it was really humiliating. Well, to make up for that, him going out publicly and apologizing wasn't enough. And he wasn't apologizing publicly, but he then turned around, tried to make sure everyone knew he loved Trump to the max and sent out fundraising emails saying that stuff. And that wasn't enough. Trump wanted more. So this apparently is the way that Kevin McCarthy satisfies that. It talks about how he wanted the Republican to rectify the slight immediately. He needs to endorse me today, Trump fumed to his staff on his way to a campaign event in New Hampshire. According to people familiar with what happened, McCarthy, after all, had indicated to Trump's team that he would do so eventually. Why not clean up the mess and announce his support now? But the House GOP leader, who has felt compelled to stay neutral during the primary so as to not box in his own members, wasn't ready to do that. To calm down Trump, McCarthy, like he's a child, to calm down Trump, McCarthy made him a promise, according to a source close to Trump and familiar with the conversation. The House would vote to expunge the 2 impeachments against the former president, and as McCarthy would communicate through aides later that same day, they would do so before August reflex. So he's going to try to do this thing to make up for the fact that he said Trump was awesome, but is he the best person to beat Biden? I don't know. I don't know. It's ridiculous. And now he has to go and try to expunge Trump's record, expunge Trump's impeachments. And this is an example of the fear that so many Republicans, including the Speaker of the House, have of Trump. And it shows us again, this is the Republican Party now. Sometimes we talk about the battle between moderates and MAGA Republicans. The MAGA Republicans have won, unfortunately. They are controlling the party. And there are some more reasonable moderates, but they're not in control anymore. It is a MAGA party. And that's why they, across the board, need to lose electorally so we can send MAGA packing in terms of their relevance to the political discussion. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.